wasn't actually like strong enough to.
So you had to?
So I was the one that picked him up, put him on the stretcher, took the shirt that was off of him.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I got my buddy Logan, and we're gonna be talking about some pretty intense stuff that he wanted to share. I actually haven't heard any of this. So it's gonna be my first time really just talking with him through it, and I'm excited. I hope that it helps you guys out. Once again, thanks for tuning in. But yeah, bro. So what's up?
He's like, all right. So let me tell you about everything I've been through the last 6 years. Yeah, man, this is gonna be good because they're gonna get like your raw reaction to everything.
Yeah.
So raw and uncut here now.
Here on Be Real.
Be real. So but yeah, man, I mean, so kind of just like I won't go through like all of it, but like the big majority where I'm just like, at least the stuff that I went through in my life happened in high school.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why I'm so passionate about just youth ministry.
Yeah.
Is because it's, I mean, yeah, like typically we're like younger and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean life isn't like doesn't come at you hard.
Exactly.
And so I was like, for me, like the majority I went through is like I lost a loved one each year in high school.
Really?
So, yeah.
Every single year in high school.
Every single year I lost a loved one, just back to back to back to back, and it was just like, okay, well, I'm 15 years old. Like, what do I do with this? Okay, I'm 16 years old. Like, I just lost someone last year. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm 17 years old. Like, is this gonna be a trend? Okay, I'm 18 years old.
So
what the heck,
dude? When you say loved one, is that like cousin, second cousin?
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and like kind of go through the whole story. So, and I'll start from my freshman year. So, well, starting off kind of like it gets a little complicated with like all the people that tie in. So just like kind of precursor. So grew up in a divorced household. He's like met my dad probably like 4 or 5 times. Yeah. And everything, and so that kind of ties in later on into my life. He's like, but didn't really know the guy. He's like, but I had a stepdad and an uncle. Yeah. So my stepdad was like, he wasn't married to my mom by law, but through common law they were married. Mm-hmm. And so it's basically just like a boyfriend girlfriend thing, but it's like state of Texas. It's like if you live with someone for like 6 months,
then technically it's
a marriage and like all of that
weird.
Kind of stuff. Yeah,
we used to do that when I worked in insurance, and I was like, this is trippy.
He's like, by common law you're married, but not officially, but by common law. He's like, yeah. And then I had an uncle who was like, I loved him to death. He taught me how to ride a bike, shoot a gun, shave, like all that stuff. And he like taught me how to like drive and everything. And so then, so that's kind of like the background for it. So my freshman year, I was 15 years old. I remember it was March 8th, 2015. I was actually maxing out that weekend football practice. I remember, and it was the Friday before spring break. And so then this was the day that my stepdad was supposed to go and like go to the heart doctor because he's having some like chest pains and all this stuff. Yeah. And so my mom was just kind of like, okay, I mean, I don't know if you really are or not because you've been saying this for a couple months. Nothing's changed. So let's just get you to the heart doctor. Well, so that morning at like 7:45 in the morning, my mom and I find him dead of a heart attack. And so then like I'm 15 years old and I'm like, I'm about to go max out for football. Yeah.
and were you close with your stepdad?
Yeah, so we were really close.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the one that like I saw just about every day, and it's like him and my mom didn't have like the best of relationships. There was a lot of just kind of like verbal abuse there. Yeah. He's like, but I know that he loved me dearly, and so it's just like he was one that I talked to you about just like guy things and just stuff like that. Yeah. And so I was really close to him. So I'm like 15 years old and I find him dead. I'm just like,
yeah, dude, what the heck do you do?
Yeah, it's just kind of like, this is something that most people don't go through their lifetime, and I'm 15, and it's like I just find basically my dad dead, and so my first thing was just like freak out. I ran upstairs and I'm like, call the police, like and like I called the cops, and I remember they were like, sir, I need you to calm down. I'm like, calm down? Like, what do you mean calm down? Yeah, like how do I calm down in the situation? Yeah. But so then just like dealing with that really kind of just like took a toll on just like me and my sister and my mom, because it's like my mom, so she has a plastic anemia, and it's an autoimmune deficiency. Well, she can't work. Well, she can now, but at that time she couldn't. Mm-hmm. He's like, and my stepdad was the breadwinner, so that source of income is gone.
So y'all's life literally completely for everyone.
Yes, completely flipped upside down. He's like in a moment. And so then it's just, well, what do you do? So I like became severely depressed, and I was just because I didn't know how to handle any of that stuff. And it's like I actually went out like that very same night. I don't think Mom knows this, so Mom, for some reason you never watched this. I'm sorry. He's like, but I actually
don't
went
spank
out,
me now.
Yeah, don't spank me now, please. He's like, but I actually went out and like my friend was like, hey, I know you're going through this. Like, would you want to like smoke weed? And I'm like, if it helps me deal with this, sure, why not?
Yeah,
it's like I don't know how to like handle this stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I like went out and like smoked weed and like I don't even think I got high or anything. I was like,
Didn't even know how to do it.
I did not. Yeah, I was just kind of like, like whatever. And so then I woke up the next morning. I remember I just felt so bad for doing that, and I was like, that probably wouldn't make my stepdad proud. And I was like, what's something I would do that would make my stepdad proud? And so
That's crazy that at 15 you're having those thoughts though.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of 15-years like think like that. You know what I mean?
And so it was like, so I was kind of like, I remember I was laying in my bed. I just woke up. I didn't spend the night at my house that night. Because I didn't even go into that house really for about like a week and a half. And so I remember I was laying in my bed. The next morning I was like, okay, well that's not going to make my stepdad proud. What can I do to make my stepdad proud? And one thing that we always did was like talk about working out. And so then that was like the big thing for me that I started doing, because it's just, I'm depressed. I'm 15 years old. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't have very many friends. Like, I got bullied a lot. It was like my mom is like down and out for the count right now. It's like my sister's like just completely like mentally blocked everyone out.
So you just felt like, completely abandoned and isolated.
Yes.
Probably.
And so then I just like, well, I guess I'll just start working out. And so I got a membership at the 24-hour fitness, and I went there like every day for like 2 hours a day, because it was the only thing I really like thought, okay, like I don't drink. I tried smoking, I didn't like it, and it's like, all right, I guess I'll just start working out. And so then practically for me, it's like that's kind of what I started doing to just kind of like cope with it.
Yeah.
Was just like, if I can just get all of my like junk out in the weight room, it's just like, all right, fine. It's like I'm getting stronger. It's like I don't feel as like I'm still depressed and like this doesn't feel good. It's like, but I don't feel like as bad afterwards, like during it. And so it was just kind of like something that I did. It was also almost like an homage to my stepdad. It's like, hey, like kind of like how he almost lived on in my life was like through working out. Is just kind of like, I don't know, it felt like, okay, like he would respect this, like he would like this. It's like, this is something that I could do that like kind of keeps the memory alive, kind of deal. And so then like went through that, and it was still just, and then it was like a year later, and I got a letter in the mail that my mom didn't tell me the official way of how this person died, but we got a letter in the mail saying that my dad died. I'm like, what? Yeah. Really? And it was so crazy to me, because it was like a piece of paper, and this man who is my dad, he was like, but didn't really ever like, I mean, I'd say like father, but he wasn't the dad, because it's like father's like biological, but dad's like owning something. And so it's just like, he was basically almost this like fictional character to me, because of how little I've ever got to see him.
And that card probably almost made it feel more fictional, because it's like,
well, it wasn't even a card, it was from Social Security. So I'm getting a letter in the mail from Social Security saying, oh, hey, by the way, Larry Allen Murphy is dead. And I'm just like, okay. And then like I didn't get invited to the funeral, didn't know what this like burial was at. Like found his obituary online, and it said me and my sister lived in Oklahoma.
So how did you handle that, because you weren't close to him, but he was still your father?
Oh, I cried my eyes out that night, because it's just for me, it was like in the moment, because I was 16, I was like 16 about to be 17, or like 17 to like just turned 17 or something like that. It's like for me, when I was younger, I wanted to not younger, when I was older, about 18, it's like, okay, like maybe I can try and have a relationship with this guy. It's like, because I know like him and my mom did not get along very well, because like they divorced due to like him apparently cheating on her, and like all of this, and having like, apparently I have like a half brother and a half sister that I just found out I have recently. And so it's just like going through that, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, like it's almost like this guy doesn't exist, but then I've always kind of wanted to get to know this guy in a few years, so it's just, okay, well, now that's just completely shut off.
So you had hope for like this dad, and then you had just lost your dad.
Yes.
And you probably hadn't gotten over that and processed it correctly. Right. So then when this hit, it was almost like, now there's no hope for a dad.
Right.
I'm guessing that's what it felt like.
That's like, but like actually like bloodline, but in the back of my mind, it's like, okay, so my Uncle Jimmy is like, he's not like the best of the best. It was like, but I still love him to death. He's
Yeah.
like, he took me my first hunting trip. He taught me how to fish, like I said earlier. He taught me how to like ride a bike, shoot a gun, shave, and all of that. And so I was like, okay, like I still got him. Like I'll be all right.
Yeah.
And so just kind of was just blown away. But I mean, it was it didn't feel real.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's like it was almost like I was ending a book.
Yeah.
And it's just like I closed the back of it and I was like, oh, well, cool. Okay. It's like there wasn't, for me in my mind, it almost didn't feel like, okay, like this person's actually gone because I never really got to know the person in the first place.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until about like a year afterward, I was struggling with it so much to the point where like, okay, I got to find this guy's grave. And
really?
So, and so my mom actually helped find his grave, which you can't even find on like Google Maps or anything. It's like you have to get, like she wrote out like hand directions for me like for the last 15 minutes. And I was like, am I like going on like just
it was like a scavenger hunt.
It's like a scavenger hunt like kind of deal. Am I gonna find like some treasure at the end of this or something? It's like, but so I went and found his grave, and for me that was like the moment of, okay, like this is real.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's actually gone. And then it was about, and the big reason why I had to go do that was because actually, like, you fast forward a year, Mom said, hey, I told you how he really died, right? It's like, yeah, he died of a heart attack. No, how he really died. It's like, no. She's like, okay, well, let me just show you what the letter said. And so she gives me the Social Security letter. I'm like scanning through this, and it's an autopsy. That's all it was. And I'm like, okay. And then like right here it says cause of death. It says gunshot wound to the back of the head. So he committed suicide.
Oh.
And in that moment, I was just like, he committed suicide?
Yeah.
I was like, this guy that I didn't even get to know.
Yeah.
Like, besides maybe, like, got to meet him 5 times in my life.
Yeah.
He killed himself?
Yeah.
It was like, and for me, I was instantly just angry. I was like, he took the easy way out of it. Like, he was so selfish for doing that.
Yeah.
Like, that's so wrong. He left me and my sister abandoned even more than really were. It's like, there was a chance. No, there's not at all.
Yeah.
I was just so, like, I was just instantly just angry.
Yeah.
And so I did what I said earlier. It's like, my coping kind of mechanism throughout high school was just go to the gym.
Yeah.
It was like, if I'm going to feel like crap, might as well get something out of it. So I just went to go work out. And this is like, I kind of had a faith, but not really.
Yeah.
At the same time, it was like I would go to church on Sunday because it was like the Christian thing to do.
Yeah.
But as far as like reading my Bible every day,
Well,
like I do.
I would imagine. I've never been through that.
Mm.
I mean, I've lost an uncle that I was pretty close to, and that was really hard. But I was already pretty solid in faith.
Mm.
But I would imagine if that was happening, the last thing you would want is like to serve a god.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like quote unquote. Which is typically like what everyone thinks it is, but it's much more than that. Obviously, we know that.
Yeah.
But okay, so stepdad, then real dad, and then there was somebody else that you lost after that?
Yeah. So then, my junior year, my Aunt Linda, who was like a second mom to me, but it was funny because she didn't like being called like great Aunt Linda, because technically she was my great aunt. She was my mom's aunt. Yeah. So like she was like being called Aunt Linda because she didn't like feeling old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she was all like real loving, real kind. And so she was basically a second mom to me. Well, she ended up dying. I think it was like it's either cirrhosis of the liver or like hardening of the liver, something like that.
Yeah.
But
was she old though? It was like
she was older, but still, it's just like even then, it's just kind of like man, like I just lost 2 people like in 2 years. It's like why you now? It's like I mean I get like you're kind of older, which is kind of be expected, but
still,
like really like can't you just like die in your sleep? Like
I mean you would
be
think
a peaceful death.
You would think that you would be like prepared for it because they're older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm going to prepare for it. But I don't think you can ever really prepare for that.
No. There's no
way. I don't care who you are. There's no way you can possibly prepare to, like, especially if they're that big in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then was there somebody else or was that it?
No, there was somebody else. And so it was the uncle, actually, I mentioned earlier.
The one that was like a father figure?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes. And so then, my Aunt Linda died of cirrhosis of the liver. And then I was just kind of like, that one didn't hit me as hard. Because I was still pretty numb. Because she died about the same time I found out that my dad committed suicide. Yeah. And so I was just kind of really
in the
numb.
Middle of it. Yeah. You were still processing this, and then this happened, and it was just kind of like... I could almost see you like just blocking that out, kind of, and being like, I already have too much crap to deal with. Yeah. Like, to let this pile on. But by doing that, it probably just piled on, actually.
Right, yeah. And so, for me, it was just... I mean, I was just so numb with everything that was going on, and I was like in a bad relationship with this girl who like cheated on me 3 times and like all this other stuff. It was a constant whirlwind, and I'm like,
which was probably another thing that made you feel unwanted.
right, exactly. Because like my big thing, especially in like high school, and then even like outside of high school, whenever I actually got into like my faith and really figured out what it meant to be a Christian, my big thing wasn't, oh, like you might leave. It was just a matter of, oh, okay, you're gonna leave, just win. And it's not gonna be, oh, because you.
That was your mindset.
That was my mindset. It's like it's not even because you want to. It's just
because
you're gonna
life.
up and die. Like that was my thought. And so like, this is just how my life is gonna be. And so I lost my Aunt Linda, and then it was the summer after my senior year. I'm like, okay, I remember having this thought. I was like, if I have my uncle Jimmy, I'll be all right.
Jeez, dude.
Well, so things happened with him and his relationship that he was going in, and so he ended up moving in with my mom, my sister, and I in this little duplex that we had on the east side of Wiley. Mm-hmm. And so he moves in, and his voice was like kind of raspy, and we're just like, maybe his voice box is going out. Like we don't know what's going on. So we go and get him tested. We start with the least thing, and it's like, okay, nothing. The worst thing we tested him for was cancer. So it turns out he had stage 4 brain, kidney, and lung cancer. Jeez. And so I'm just sitting there, like I'm working full time at Lowe's. I'm going like but I was taking, because full time is like 15 credit hours, 12 credit hours. I was taking 9 credit hours in college, and it's like I got to sleep like maybe like 12 hours throughout the whole week because I was just so busy. Yeah. And I was like, the last thing I need is this. Yeah. And so then I'm just like, great. Like, here this guy is.
And at that point, were you already like a Christian? Like.
So, I went to church on Sunday because it was like the Christian thing to do, but as far
you were
as
a Southern Christian, essentially.
Yes, I was the typical like Southern Christian, but I wasn't living like it. I was sleeping around, cussing, like all this. I mean, the cussing's not like a necessarily sin, but it just wasn't like I wasn't living a good life. Yeah, I was just living how I wanted to. I didn't really care about much. Yeah,
and more than anything, you just most likely probably didn't believe in miracles at this point.
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
Or believe in a God that like wants to be your dad and wants to be there for you.
Yeah. Well, so it wasn't until actually that like my uncle died where I completely was just like, okay, like God, you might be real, but you're not, like, obviously you don't love me. Yeah. And so then my uncle moved in, and like 3 months later dies. And I remember it's like his hospice nurse wasn't actually like strong enough to pick him up. So I was the one that picked him up, put him on the stretcher, took the shirt that was off of his back, because it's kind of like a really weird thing, but like all Miller men have a shirt. So me and Mom don't have the same last name. She named me after my dad. And so it's like I'm a Miller, but my last name's Murphy, and so even then it's like there was almost like it's still hard for me to connect to this day some, because it's like I don't have your last name, but like this is the family that I always see. So but anyway, so all the Miller men had like the camo shirt. So his this camo shirt, he died, so I had to take him off of him. And I also found out, this is really graphic, I'm so sorry, but like in the movies they're like, shh, be at rest. Okay, that doesn't work. Their eyes I tried that. Yes, it does not work. It's like they just pop right back open. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So this dead body is staring me in the eyes, and I'm like, put him on a stretcher, and like, okay, get this body out of here.
Golly,
yeah. And so then I remember even for my mom, it was really hard.
I feel like at that point, it's just like, this is normal life. Mm-hmm. Which is not normal life.
Right. Yeah, and so then it was just, because my mom was still dealing with everything that was going on with my stepdad, or whenever my stepdad passed away.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and then same with my sister, and so then it's like, it got to the point where me and my sister probably didn't even talk for a long time. Yeah. It was just like, we would have like this shallow, like, hey, like, hi, love you, and then that was
just,
it.
Every day was just gray.
Yeah, every day was
shallow,
just bland, just blended together. It was just like nothing crazy. And so it was after that, I was just like, all right, like, you know what? I never like denounced my faith, but it was like at that moment I was like, I just became agnostic. I was just like, okay, there's like, God, I've heard all the stories where you're good, and I've heard of all these miracles you did in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, because those are the only books that we went over in the Bible at the church that I went to, and all this is like, but obviously like this loving God doesn't love me too much, or this stuff wouldn't keep happening. It's just like, so after that I just completely like went off the deep end. It's like spent my 19th birthday in jail and like all this crazy stuff, and I was just like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until actually I heard about the internship at Church Level 32, and for me it was just, I want to be a good father. I want to be a good husband. It's like I just want to have a family that's
more than
functional.
anything, I probably think that you just wanted to be happy again.
So
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like at the root of it, because it's like you can't. First of all, you can't be a good father, a good husband, good anything if you're not happy.
Right.
And before you're any of those, like, I mean, you're not single right now, right? Where you're dating.
Yeah, no, I'm dating.
Okay. Yeah. But just didn't want to throw that out there without it being official.
Yeah. No,
but it's like, even then, like when you were single, like you still want to be happy, and you're probably like you've been living like in misery for the past 4 or 5 years, and so it's almost like I just want to be happy, like.
Right.
So then that okay? So you were agnostic, pretty much denying God, not like denying, but just choosing not to like, I guess, relate yourself with him or whatever, have a relationship. And so you finally like said, I'm done with this when?
So just like with Christianity, or like
No, with
all
with
all the crap.
Yeah.
So
with trying to numb it with all that other stuff.
Yeah, it was probably whenever I spent my 19th birthday in jail. I was just, because I remember I was sitting there, and I was in the orange jumpsuit with the Jesus sandals on, and like with this woolly blanket that had like toenails and like fingernails in it. It was completely disgusting. I was just like, like I was trying to go to sleep. I felt something like scrape against my face. I don't want to look. And so then I remember I was like, well, I've seen like jail shows. They probably can give me something to read. All they had was, and it was kind of cool, it was this little just King James Bible.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I mean, this is better than nothing, I guess. Maybe we'll pass the time better. So I started in the book of Genesis and just started like, in the beginning, and like all this kind of stuff, like God created. And I was like, all right. And it was probably, I remember it was like right there, and I was taken back to whenever, like right after my stepdad died, I started working out, and I actually got pretty invested in the church that I was going to at that time. I was a part of their youth team, like leadership, and I was doing all this stuff, and I was taken back to that moment, and I just started crying. Yeah. Because it's just like, this isn't where I wanted to be. This isn't who I wanted to be. Like, I'm 19 years old. Like, I'm in jail. It's like, I don't believe in God, really. Yeah. It's just, I'm hurting incredibly bad.
Well, not only that, but that's probably the first time that you've been isolated to where I have to process all of this stuff now. Like, I have no choice because it's all like in here, and there's nothing that I can do to like numb it right now. Right. So I finally, which is interesting because a lot of people think like isolation is like a bad thing, but like to me, like when you get isolated, I almost feel like it's like God like incubating you, which He's like literally like, okay, I'm gonna have you in here, and I'm gonna prepare you, and when you get out of here, you're gonna get out of here ready, full of strength for what you're supposed to do, kind of thing. Yeah. But it sounds like that's what happened.
Yeah. No,
like,
that's exactly.
You're isolated, and I could almost just see like you just being like, crap, like now I have to deal with this. Now I actually have to process the pain. Dang. Okay, so then you started processing the pain, I'm guessing, like in the jail cell?
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, I mean, I didn't really want to talk to anyone because my jailmate was a convicted felon for like intention to distribute like cocaine and like all this crazy stuff. And
well, he was just trying to make a living. Don't judge him too hard.
Hey, I'm not judging him too hard, man. But it's like the story gave. He's like, I was set up. I'm like, I'm sure you would with your duffel bag full of cocaine. Like,
yeah, we've all been set up, bro.
Yeah, we've all been set up. I've been set up. It's like, don't ask me about the $200 worth of like clothes I had in my body. Okay, it was a setup. It's like, but I didn't want to talk to him, so I was just kind of like sitting there, and I just remember I was like, this wouldn't make my stepdad proud. Yeah, like this wouldn't make like. So like, honestly, I was also just like, God, honest truth, I was terrified to get out because my mom loved her to death, but it's like she's gonna kill me. She was gonna murder me when I got out, and that's exactly what it felt like. Like I got out, she gave me a hug, and then she was just like letting it rip in the car ride home. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Like I didn't plan to spend my 19th birthday in jail, but here I am. So, but yeah, anyway, off of that little tangent, it's like, yeah, that was the first time I really just had to like sit and just like honestly just deal with it and really just kind of for me, it opened up my own eyes to
Yeah.
be like, okay, this is really where I'm at. And
Yeah.
it's like, and this isn't good.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't who I've wanted to be. This isn't like where I thought I'd ever be, and just all of this stuff.
So it was like your first opportunity to really be real with yourself
Yes.
and just be like,
Mm-hmm.
Logan,
Yes.
the crap is happening.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And being like, okay, I actually feel this,
Mm.
and now I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So what'd you do? Because, I mean, if there's anyone that's watching this, probably if they're going to click on it because of the title, it's probably because they're probably going through something similar, or they've
Right.
gone through something similar.
Right.
So how would you say that you processed it? Because now, like, I mean, you can't take that smile off your face for nothing. You know, but before it probably wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. No,
Yeah.
not at all. And say just honestly, it was just whenever I actually started like making my faith my own,
Yeah.
and started hearing about like, okay, like there's this God who can heal, and there's this God that actually does love me, and it's like, I mean, the wounds that you develop and you just live with when you go through that stuff, it can be healed in the moment, or it can be healed in like 5 or 6 months. It depends on how much you want to open up. And so it was like, it wasn't until I fully just started like, one, being real with myself, and then just actually like being real with God, and like praying and just reading the word, and just actually like reading just all of this stuff, and like filling myself up with like, okay, like there's this God who actually does love me and isn't just gonna up and die on me. It's
Now-
like he physically can't.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he can't.
Yeah.
So it's like...
That was comforting to me. I was like, okay, he actually can't
you
die.
can't die, bro.
Like, this is great. Thank God.
I'll take
Literally,
that.
thank God
Yeah.
you can't die.
Yeah. So, dang it. Oh, I had a good question,
Sorry.
and then I lost it because we started joking about God not dying, which is so true, though.
Yes.
Dang it. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Yeah. No, but it wasn't until like I actually just kind of, like I said, so just like starting filling myself up with just like the word, and really just
that's
praying.
what I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
So you said praying.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they hear that word pray,
Mhm.
like anyone that I've talked to that wasn't a Christian, and then they like come to me and they're like, hey man, like I'm going through a hard time, like would you pray with me or teach me how to pray? And were those prayers, I would imagine that those prayers were not like, God, you are so holy, your majesty reigns forever, I glorify you, I lift up your name. I would imagine that they were, God, like, I need some help right now, dog. Like, I am hurting.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going... Like if you were talking to, like, an actual really good father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Is that what it was like?
Well, for me, it was, and even now, it's like whenever I pray, I don't like, and like I say like, God, you're so good and everything, but it's just like I'll talk to God like I'm just talking to a regular person.
Yeah.
It's like how I'm talking to you. It's like that's how I talk to God, and it was just me being completely just honest, and it was just, this doesn't feel good. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know who I am. I am completely terrified to open up to someone again, because I just think they're gonna up and die on me. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why I've been through this. Like, I hear you can use everything. Okay, well my question is, why'd I go through this in the first place? And it was just me being completely real and just open. It wasn't any like pretty polished like prayer. It was just me being just real. That was it. And it was just I mean I find myself now wanting to get back to that place sometimes. Because I felt like
it's the best place to be at.
Yeah, it's because I mean, you feel God more, in my opinion, whenever you're just completely just real, open, and honest. And so that's how it just kind of was. It's like, God, I don't know why I went through it. I don't get why I had to go through it. But what I read says that you can use it. It's like, so if you can, just use it. It's like, because I don't like feeling this. I don't like dealing with this pain. It's like, but I know if anyone can heal it, it's gonna be you. And it's just like,
did you feel like God like kind of healed you from all of that pain immediately, or was it a process? Pause. Let me see. Make sure that it's still recording. Okay, good. Dang, we're at 29 minutes. So,
really? Okay.
So let's wrap it up here in a little bit.
So for me, honestly, it was just because I was so just messed up mentally, which is kind of not in the sense of like anything like I need to go to like a mental hospital, but it was just like things that I just like thought patterns that I had and everything like that, to where it was just because one, honestly, is I just couldn't be honest with myself completely. So then I just slowly like opened up. And so that's why I said earlier, it's just, it all depends on how much you're willing to open up.
Yeah.
Because it's like God will heal you to the level of your openness.
Yeah.
And so if you're just really closed off, it's like, okay, I mean, God still loves you.
You can't go to a doctor and him be like, all right, what can I help you with? No, I'm
Nothing.
good.
Yeah, I'm good. It's like...
But you got cancer, or you got like... Yeah. You know, you're falling apart. Like,
or like the crazy thing is like, okay, well, you came to my office.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And you're not going to come what you... You're not going to get what you came for.
Yeah. That's how I envision it sometimes, bro. I'm like, you don't go to a doctor and just tell him that he's a good doctor the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, you're a good doctor.
You acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Yes. And like, I will always exalt God. Always. I'm like, but then I will also break down in front of him.
Yeah.
Because I would rather break down in front of him than break down out here in front of people.
Right.
And end up hurting people and hurting myself, because I've done that for forever. You know what I mean? And it doesn't work. So that's what I would rather do. So essentially, that's what you did then. Yeah.
And I just started opening up.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't comfortable. It didn't feel good, because it was I was having to go back by situation.
Yeah.
And dealing with all of that pain again. It was like these wounds that I thought were healed, they're completely healed. Okay, weren't.
Yeah.
And so I remember
just numbed.
Yeah, I just kind of learned how to not think about it and just kept rolling on.
Yeah.
With it. And it's like I remember that, like, I celebrate the day now whenever I found my stepdad dead, because it's like celebrate the life, not mourn the death.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. But it was just, I was having to go through by situation and be like, okay, like, let me start with the first thing that happened. Okay, I feel like I'm pretty good with that. Okay, let me start with the second thing.
Dealing with everything individually, not just in general, like, oh, I need to deal with all this.
It's like, God, I have a broken heart. It's like, okay, like, for me, I gotta get specific and actually just deal with that situation. And just, because, I mean, each one felt like its own lifetime.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I bet.
And so then it's just, I was having to go through, like I said, and just, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to cope with my stepdad being gone still. And this would be like 5 years after the fact of me finding him dead, whenever I finally just said, okay, like, I don't know how to cope with that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I got done with that. And it's like, I've had to go back a couple times and be like, okay, like, I still don't feel good about this. It's like, okay, I still don't feel good about, like, my dad being gone.
Well, it's a constant process.
Right. And it's so then,
I think that should be encouraging also to anyone that's watching, that it's like, it doesn't just...
Yeah, you don't just wake up one day, you're like, sunshine and rainbows. No, it's a process.
Yeah. So if you could give them like one last thing, like if somebody's going through what you're going through, or what you went through and are still going through, what would be like your one golden nugget to them right now?
Honestly, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, so often we can get into, like, survival mode and just want to be like, oh, I'm fine, like, it's all good, just, like, keep rolling with the punches, like, blah, 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 like, just roll with it. But in that, you really just lose yourself.
Wow. Yeah.
And so then for me, it'd just be, like, it's kind of like the Bible verse that, everyone, like, talks about. It's like, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It's like, your rod and your staff protect me. But I really focus on, like, the first part. It's like, though I walk through the valley, it's a walk.
Yeah.
It's not a sit, it's not a stay, it's not like a camp.
It's not a go around.
Yes, it's a walk. So it's like, deal with the emotion, walk through it, get through it, but just make sure you actually get through the emotion.
Dude.
Yes. So that would be like my biggest thing, is just like make sure you just actually just deal with it and know that it's okay to not be okay.
That's incredible, dude. Dude, I appreciate you big time, bro.
No problem.
You're a freaking beast. Guys, I really hope this like encouraged you guys, helped you guys out. It's a powerful story. If you're going through like anything that he's going through or that he went through, hopefully this helps you and just shows you at least that you're not on your own and that you're not the only one walking through it. And I'm going to put his tags on for like Instagram and whatnot. So if he encouraged you at all, like shoot him a message, tell him thank you, show him some love. But until next time, guys, you guys take it easy and like and subscribe to the channel. Take it easy, guys.